Hello, this is Erin Contratti, School Improvement Specialist for Sullivan County BOCES. Thank you for joining me today for differentiation in distance and blended learning environments. Differentiation, what it is and what it isn't. Differentiation means tailoring instruction to meet individual needs. Differentiation doesn't mean you have to come up with a customized lesson plan for each individual student. That would be exhausting and unsustainable. The general principles of differentiation, according to world expert on differentiation Carol Ann Tomlinson, is an environment that encourages and supports learning, quality curriculum, assessment that informs teaching and learning, instruction that responds to student variance, and it leads students in managing routines. Teachers can differentiate through content or what's being taught, process or how it's being taught, product, how students are expressing their learning, and environment, which is where you are teaching. And you can differentiate according to students' readiness, interests, and also their learning profile. You can differentiate through a variety of instructional strategies, such as learning and interest centers, RAFs. Just to review, RAFs are writing assignments that focus on the role of the author, the audience, the format, and the topic, RAFs. You can differentiate also through graphic organizers, through scaffolded reading and writing, through Gardner's intelligence preferences, through learning contracts, tiered assignments, menus, tic-tac-toe, independent projects, expression options, and small group instruction. The important part is always start with the learning goal. The goal is for students to arrive at the same destination, even though they may take different routes. Don't water down the curriculum or change the expectations, but provide students the scaffolding they need in order to achieve the learning targets at grade level. So here are 7 ways to differentiate during distance learning. In giving assignments, you can use open-ended prompts, or for 2 or 3 versions of an assignment at different levels. You can do guided reading using online libraries such as getepic.com. You can use virtual manipulatives for visual supports. Toytheater.com is a very popular site for virtual manipulatives. You can use audiobooks or allow students to choose how they want to demonstrate what they've learned. You can also ask your students what they need. Carol Ann Tomlinson recommends that you keep index cards for each student so you can know your students and know their learning preferences and important information at a glance. So on the index card, you would have on the blank side the student's name, and then on the lined side, the top left, the reading level, and on the top right, any assessment data that's available, the student's interests or anything important to know about the student in the center of the card, their learning preferences, such as auditory learning, verbal learning, body kinesthetic learning, etc., and also their home language and ELL status. So then when you're differentiating, you can just quickly take, when you're at home doing distance learning, you can just quickly take those cards and be able to put students into groups very quickly on any one of those different criteria, also on the learning target that you are working on for the day or the learning period. To differentiate content, you can choose different content based on student interest or culture, or different lexile levels. You can have reading material available in the student's home language, or to pre-teach missing or incomplete skills, for building background knowledge, particularly students who are new to the area, new to the country, and also tiered assignments, where you prepare assignments at a variety of different levels, and then on your in your small group learning, you can assign different assignments through Google Meets or through Microsoft, and assign different levels to each group. A few ways to differentiate process in distance learning. You can use live instruction. You can have student experts do the instruction. Somehow kids, when they hear other kids, they understand things better than when they hear from adults. You can assign a video. You can assign an offline reading or an online reading. You can assign a web quest, which is a curated set of websites that students visit to complete a creative task. Websites are lots of fun. Students can create a podcast, or you can differentiate between individual or group work. And also you can differentiate by providing different levels of scaffolding. A few ideas for differentiating by product. First, here is tic-tac-toe or choice boards, where you give a variety of choices and students decide on their own which way they're going to express their learning. For example, on this tic-tac-toe board, reviewing a math unit, one choice is to write clear directions for performing the math computation skills from the unit. Another choice, solve 2 of the 5 challenge problems. Another choice, create a math rap or rhyme that will help someone remember a concept from the unit. And a variety of other choices. And in the center, the students can choose on their own something that they don't see here, of course, with teacher approval. A few different ways you can use a tic-tac-toe board. You can ask students to actually make a tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, either across, up and down, or diagonally. You can tell students any 3. You can tell students you must do this one, and another one is free choice. A lot of different ways that you can use a tic-tac-toe board. Choice boards are pretty similar. Other products, you can differentiate through products, ways that students express their learning. They can create a video. They can write a blog post. They can write a report. They can write a story about their learning. It's amazing how creative kids can get about their learning, about expressing learning. They can draw a picture or a diagram, or record a podcast, or create a piece of art or music. And here's a quick review of Webb's depth of knowledge, the depth of how different levels students can express their learning and how you can question. So depth of learning 1 is simply recall and reproduction, and those are questions that only have one possible answer. Depth of knowledge 2 is basic application of skills and concepts. How did it happen? Why did it happen? How does it work? Why does it work that way? Depth of knowledge 3 is strategic thinking. How can you use it? Why can you use it? What is the cause? What is the effect? What's the reason? What's the result? And finally, depth of knowledge level 4, extended thinking. What's the impact? What's the influence? What's the relationship? What if? What would happen? What could happen? What do you think, feel, or believe about this? And another review for questioning in Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's and Webb's provide a nice crosswalk for high quality questioning. So we have at the bottom of the Bloom's pyramid, remembering, just simply recalling facts and basic concepts. Understand, when you can explain ideas or concepts. apply when you can use information in new situations, analyze when you can draw connections among ideas, evaluate when you can justify a stand or decision, and create where you produce a new or original work. And in each of these bars, there are verbs that can drive your questioning using Bloom's taxonomy. You can also vary the environment, differentiate by environment. So you can deliver instruction by whole class, in breakout rooms, synchronous or asynchronous learning. You can have student-led chats, and you can also engage students one-on-one through virtual office hours. And one last thing to keep in mind, instructors aren't simply content area specialists or evaluators of student work, but rather designers of educational experiences. This is from Stephen Mintz, Executive Director of the Institute for Transformational Learning at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you for joining me today for Differentiation in Distance and Blended Learning Environments. I'm Erin Contrati for Sullivan County BOCES. Have a great day.